everyone. Welcome back to the Artist and Thinker podcast. And Happy New Year, by the way. I am the artist, L Sweet,
And I am Terrence B. the Thinker.
and it has been a while. Like literally, a couple months have went by, and now we are officially in 2026. I am hoping, along with my co-host, that this is going to be an amazing year for everyone. And of course, all those evil wrongdoers get their justice. But I digress. Anyway, what's the topic of the day?
Today's topic is Drake, Drake, Drake. Drake got a Rico. Woo! Got a Rico. Woo! But okay, here's the situation. For those that have been hiding under a rock or not paying attention to media, social media, or anything of that nature, um, Drake has just been named with Aiden Ross. I believe academics, DJ academics as well, have been named in a Rico case and illegal online gambling. Now, the app that they're talking about with the illegal gambling is called Stake. Called Stake. And anybody that does like online gambling, y'all know there's been situations also with going all the way down to the basketball players, like playing in games to hedge the bet so they can win the bet that they put in. You have it also going to people like Drake in this particular situation, where we have a situation where basically with this case where Drake, where it applies to him is that he has been illegally gambling on this website called Stake. And what happened is that he's using the money that he won, and everybody knows Drake got a gambling problem. Kendrick already touched on this. And what he's doing is that he's using his winnings from the illegal gambling to help boost his algorithm on streaming platforms to make it show that he's still in the mix. Even though we know for these past last year, he took a crazy L, right? And so
Yes.
it's kind of crazy because isn't this the case he just lost with UMG? Now that you're
Mm-hmm.
being named in a case with UMG, like you had against UMG, now you're being named in a Rico case. And my logic has always and forever been: if you come at a
They're gonna
conglomerate
come
that
back
big,
for you.
they gonna get it
Mm-hmm.
back in blood one way or another. So if for
Yep.
you to think that this came out of the blue, out of nowhere, like it just happened, come on, be smarter, people. I was like, you can't come at a conglomerate like that, lose, and then think that you're not going to get some form of get back from them. Hey, let's go back to business. Nah, it don't work like that.
It it definitely screams that he was really having a big man child moment. There's no getting around it with the whole thing surrounding Kendrick. And given the extremes he was going to with the lawsuit, and then coming after the people who basically are the ones who are funding you, you're asking for trouble. That even kind of seems similar to what happened with Diddy. Diddy went against some of the people who were pumping the money in him and who had a lot of power. And that's what happens. You get a little too high and heavy and it'll catch you. You know, I've said it so many times before that be careful what you do because it can come back and bite you. And yeah, those RICO charges are no joke. I mean, very few people can really beat them. So it's going to be interesting to see what the outcome is with that for sure. And
Very true.
I mean, Drake. I mean, Drake. It's interesting how all this stuff is happening to Drake. Even if you just look at the whole entire thing of Cash Money all the way to Young Money, everything with Wayne and Nicki, it seems like their time of having power and control and heavy influence is truly coming to an end. A lot of it I feel like is self-sabotage. When you think, and not to get too off of the subject, think about with Wayne. I mean, Wayne, given his upbringing, you would think that money wouldn't be the big factor in how now all of a sudden Wayne's a Trump supporter. Like, of all people, you think about where you came from, the people in your community, how basically you are saying you support someone who's against everything that you stand for. And the same with Nikki. Nikki behind out here, all of a sudden she's a newfound Trump supporter and going against the people who helped put her to where she was. Her demographic of fans like to attack these certain communities that you're attacking by saying all the things she said is crazy. And then when you look at Drake, it's like Drake just didn't want to accept that he lost. And one thing I've said about Drake is he has had the power to stay irrelevant by either stealing, by basically jumping on whatever new trend it is, about just pushing out albums. So you constantly have his name in your mouth. There's been so many times he's put music out that we can't name none of the songs on the darn album, but we knew he dropped an album, right?
Right.
So I think the whole group, their time to shine is coming to an end. So
Absolutely. And
I mean, okay, sorry.
but what did Kendrick Lamar say? He said, "I think it's time to let the party die."
Yep, he
And
said
like
it. I mean,
prophetic. Now that you look at it, this is like prophecy coming to the pass. It's time to let the party die
hmm
because which is what needs to happen in order for our genres and music to have a legitimate chance. A
hmm
legitimate chance has gotten to like where it's gotten to a point where this is something that has to happen. A purge has to happen so we could come out with like other talent.
hmm
And I'm always out here listening for the new people. I've turned you on. I've like sent some people your way, like, yo, check this dude out. This dude can sing, or check this guy out, or check this person out. This these new genres where we found like gothic back black rock R&B. You know what I'm saying? A genre
hmm
that came out of nowhere, and I was like, what? And it's dope. And I
well,
was like, that's dope.
so
It's fire.
it's interesting you say that, like that it's a genre that came out of nowhere. I think what it is, at least in my opinion, I feel like a lot of elements of music, Black people, people of color are finally kind of taking back some of it and saying, hey, we're here. Because when you really look at some of the originators of music, you think of some of the originators of what rock and roll really was. You think of the
Mhm.
originators of what um country music originated from. So I think now we're in an era that there's so many great artists and so many different genres, and it shows that there's enough ears to go around for everyone to be able to enjoy um being an artist, and it doesn't
Mhm.
necessarily matter the color of your skin. I'm a firm believer that it doesn't matter. Anybody can sing R&B, anybody can sing country. What people like Drake is like, he's not a person who's willing to pass the throne. He is willing to let you get in the space with him, but to actually overtake him, no, he's not going to be that way. And of course, a lot of people will say, well, who wants someone to take you over? Everybody, time comes and goes. I think that was one of the biggest things that Nicki had to battle with when it came to Cardi. And at first, I used to kind of side with Nicki, and that's to be like, well, a lot of those record labels was trying to find something to be able to duplicate what Nicki was able to do. They wanted it for themselves, so they felt they had to sabotage her. So I do think it's half of her. somewhat being sabotaged, and her not wanting to play nice as well. But I mean, you think about a lot of artists. There's only a few artists I can say never had to come back on like a comeback tour. Like when you think about Lady Gaga. Remember Lady Gaga? Everything was Lady Gaga, Lady Gaga, Lady Gaga in the
Right.
early 2000s. And then her time kind of fell off. She went to acting. Think about Katy Perry when she had California Dreams. That's all you heard that whole album, you know?
Hmm.
So, and even with Rihanna, I think Rihanna and Beyonce are two artists that can take breaks and it's like they never left. A lot of other artists can't. A lot of them, they're like here, they have their moment where it's all them and then it kind of fades off. Um, like I said, Drake was able to keep himself going through where he's relatable in so many in three I would say three different generations. Um well no four, because if you look at Gen X who's above us, because Drake is considered a millennial like us. So Gen X, later Gen Xers, they know Drake. Drake is something they were probably bumping on a regular basis.
Hmm.
So, millennials, us, then you have Gen Z who know all about Drake. And I mean, it might be pushing it to say, well, was it Gen Alpha? That's the next one under it. They are ranging from, they're real young, but still in an age group that they have heard his music. So Drake was able to keep his name going through a good amount of generations. But how he would do it is he would jump on stuff and he would steal from a lot of artists and it's coming out. But I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see how it plays out because I can't say it's the rabbit got the gun because clearly the record labels and the higher ups always got the gun. They just point it in different directions.
Right.
So it's one of those things that are like, but hey, you gotta pay to play, and I feel like his time just came.
I believe that, like I said in the beginning, it's just time to let the party die. Because if you start paying attention to how the industry was moving, you had stuff coming out that didn't make sense. Like,
Hmm.
what is Ice Spice? I'm asking. Like,
What
what
is
is it?
ice?
What
What
is
is
it?
Ice Spice? That
Like,
was a good one.
and I'm like, what is it? And then you
Hmm.
got rappers that are just thinking they can say anything
Any and
and get
everything.
away with it.
Oh
And I'm
my
just
gosh, I just recently saw something. I think I sent it to you. And it was like Little Dicky was the one that saved the day. What was his name? The thing Panda Panda Panda. What was his name?
designer.
The guy was like zero 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 brr, 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 ha, ha, yeah. Well, he was like making all this crazy noise, right?
Yeah.
And then what's his name that sing with
Anderson
I
Pack.
can't think of his, yeah, I don't know what he was saying. And
I'm
it
like,
took
you're a
Lil Dicky
singer,
to
but
come
then
out
you
there
don't rap.
and give actual bars. Like he was looking terrified until he was like, wait, I'm the one that sounds good here. So yeah, when we look at the music industry and how it has evolved, how it has changed, it has went through a lot of transitionings to how we listen to it, how we stream it, how long we intake it, um, and so many things when it comes to artists because now you have social media who is really controlling what we hear. And you see so many times now where so many people have become TikTok famous over all the social media platforms because the songs get catchy and sometimes you hear like a little small snippet. You'll hear a
Right.
small snippet and you'll fall in love with that song. And if it's not marketed right, because I know somebody was saying, well, one thing about it is the record labels have to try to catch it before it's too late. Because just as much as we could be sitting in here singing some song today, 2 weeks from now, it could be nothing. So the way that they market themselves has to be different because they're not, and I mean, you think about it, you heard artists back in the day before Napster came into play how they didn't have money. When streaming, before streaming was what streaming is now, and before we had things like LimeWire, Napster, that basically was ways to get free music, you had artists complaining about not getting paid their proper amount because they had to pay everybody else. They had to take out loans through inside the industry to be able to make their music videos, to promote everything. And then at the end of the day, they had to make money from touring. And when you look at touring now, a lot of money that they used to make was doing merchandise. Everybody can make merchandise now. So that is talking about stuff that was pre Napster and pre LimeWire. And then you get LimeWire, where you have so many people who are downloading music, they are burning them on CDs like we used to do. All this stuff getting it free, artists not receiving anything. So now getting into an area where you have streaming sites like Spotify and Amazon Music and iTunes, all of that stuff, where they get paid pennies to have to deal with that. Then also the music only being catchy a little bit because you have things like TikTok. So artists have to do a lot to make money now. It's not like it used to be. And when you think about when it comes to like Drake,
I got a
I'm not
hold up,
mad at him.
hold up. Before you get into Drake, I just got a subject on perspective on that. Where
Okay.
we like before streaming and like streaming sites came along and things of that nature, you had to actually go and buy the physical album. And once you got that physical album, it was yours because you bought it, right?
Mhm.
It was yours. You could play it as many times as you
Yep.
want. And they had
Mhm.
something back in the day called sound scans, which it like when you play a CD or you play a song or it's on the radio and the song keeps getting constant runs, that's how units were sold because it was like not only the unit counted, but it also the singles counted because you had to buy the single. You know what I'm saying? The
Mhm.
physical single. And so it went from us actually as consumers buying the product to leasing the music. Because when it got the, and this is a thing that David Banner, you have heard if you listen to his interviews, you have heard time and time again. David Banner has always said, we did not fight when streaming came along. We didn't fight for our right because at least with CDs, and how I learned the mathematics for this is that I learned this from Lisa Left Eye. She was like, we get 3 points on an album as a group. We get 3 points. Every point consists of a certain amount of pennies, a certain amount of cents, like 25 cents or something like that. Each point. They get
Mhm.
three, so that's 75 cents, right? 10 million records, $7.5 million, right? And he was like, sounds like a lot. She was like, sounds like a lot of money, right? She was like, well, it's not a lot of money where you have to pay back all recordings, everything that an artist does, records, have to pay that back before they see any money back from the sale, right? They have to pay all that
Mhm.
back. Then you have to pay your lawyers, your management, and then that cuts you down to what? 3.5 million, right? Split
Mhm.
that three ways, and after you get rid of your lawyers and your management and all of that stuff, you're down to pretty much how she trickled it down. It was like 500,000. I could buy a nice house with that, but how in the world am I gonna keep my lights on? And that was just with and believe it or not, that was probably the best outcome for an artist. Now you have streaming sites where you have to literally, let's break down the mathematics in
Mhm.
streaming. Spotify, your one song has to be paid, has to be played 357 times for you to get $1. So when you break that down to billions and millions of streams, you're only getting what,
Mhm.
500,000 for billions of streams. So it's like you said, Sweets, it's a penny a stream, which means you have to
Mhm.
stream 357
And don't forget, you got to pay everybody else.
and you got to pay everybody else. I'm like,
Mhm.
like I believe there's a
That's
way,
why touring is the only thing that they have.
which is what I was
And
about,
it's like,
which is what I was about to get to, because touring and merch is where, even with the record label, which was actually a better place than what it is now, people, artists, how they had to make money was constantly be on tour. Why you think a lot of
mm-hmm,
artists go on tour for like 3 years? They
mm-hmm,
got to make their money, because all that money they don't have to split that with nobody, because that's their tour, and they get paid off of merchandise and ticket sales. You know what I'm saying? Because you're doing the
mm-hmm.
performance. I mean, Bobby Brown, he was making money out. He went on tour off "Don't Be Cruel" for like 3 years, all the way to
That's what
1990.
Taylor Swift did. Taylor Swift,
1990.
she just finished that touring of the album, and I think what Beyonce put out. How were they saying it? Because you remember the Eras tour started when the Renaissance tour started. I think
Yep.
that was a couple years ago. Then Beyonce released Cowboy Carter and then finished that tour, and Taylor just still was touring hers because that's where she was getting her bread and butter.
And yeah, and
And I
this
mean, the
is,
same with Beyonce.
but here's the situation. This is why it's bad now, and why they have to tour so freaking long to make money if you're not an established artist. The reason why you have to tour so long is because of the contract you signed with the record label, which is now a 360 deal.
Hmm.
Because 360 deals work like this. Back in the day, contract basically was like your publishing, your record sales, they got their money on that. That's how they got their money. The artists got their money on touring, merchandise, um, personal promotions for other products outside of the record label, whether it be drinks, sandwiches, and shoes, sneakers, deals, and stuff like that. That's how artists made their money. Touring and all that other stuff. With a 360 deal, which is usually a contract that all artists get, because the reason they have 360 deals is because record labels are dying. Record labels are dying. And so the 360 deal means that your record label gets a percentage of every single thing you do, which is your touring, your merchandise, your promotions outside of the record label, your sneaker deals, your drink deals, your all of that. They get a cut of all of that. Because and 360 deals can work for artists that are established like Beyonce, Jay-Z, so on and so forth. But for artists coming out and they get it, I was like, it's just greedy. And the only reason they like this is because record labels are dying.
Hmm.
And so I believe that artists should go
Let's
independent.
not get into owning your masters. That's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, I believe
You
artists should
know.
be independent, put out your own
Mm-hmm.
work, because this is, like I was saying, with the party dying, this is an opportunity for artists to take back
Mm-hmm.
their claim.
Control.
Yes, you're gonna have to work twice as hard, but shit, you're working 10 times as hard now as an artist under a record label.
It's best
You
to
might
do
as
it
well.
by yourself. That's just like how I feel about pimps and hoes.
Yep.
I gotta work hard to give you half my money.
Yeah. Yeah, I work
Yeah.
hard to give
So
you all
no,
my money. And I was like, this is
I'm the one.
growing at
Yeah.
its finest. And so
So.
for you to sit there and like, I was like, it's better for artists that are coming out, because what I will say is that Brent Fires was independent artist from the beginning. He has been an independent
Hmm.
artist. He's only done distribution deals. He doesn't do he was like, his publishing deal was set up with a small company, and he gives them 10% and he owns the rest. But he has to be take care of his own promotion, his own videos, all that stuff he does himself. But in turn, all money comes back to him. Which is why Brent Fires can put out a mixtape and make a grip off of it, and put out an album, make a grip off of it, despite streaming, despite all of that, because he knows how to promote social media and otherwise. He does all the work, so naturally all the money should come back to him. And all he has to chalk up is 10% to the publishing company. And so, like I said, it can be done. It can be done. It's possible to be done. He was like, we don't want contracts, we just want a distribution deal. We'll give you 10% of the publishing. And he
Mhm.
came to the table like that. So it can be done. And it's nothing wrong. I believe this is the perfect opportunity for people that are real artists and genuine artists to come out and start just moving your stuff independently and selling direct to consumer. You have an opportunity here. Don't just leave it up to stream and be
Mhm.
like, no, you can't stream my stuff. I'll get it directly to them. I got YouTube. I got all of this stuff. The artist can hear my music. I don't need you. And on top of that, streaming your stuff on YouTube, you probably make more money because you get paid for how many times that video is
Mhm.
seen.
That's why I said they have to think out the box. This
Yeah.
is a time where you have to think out the box to make money. Um, I mean, but you're seeing that happen in the music industry, and you're even seeing it in other areas of entertainment. Like when you think about what the writers go through, can you imagine writing a song that everyone around the world sings and you don't get any credit for it? Think about some of these actors and actresses that now they have to compete with AI because you have production studios and directors who want to use your likeliness forever and ever, and you not get paid for it. I mean, we are in an era now that we have to think outside of the box. Regular people and people who are in the spotlight that we're used to having to do it one way. They got to work twice as hard and receive less than what they used to because of social media, because of technology. And then we didn't even think to mention about how they're making AI artists now, and you have them literally trying to start beef with real live people. You have, was it Timberland, the whole thing with Timberland, supposedly getting all these people to sing for him and him calling himself critiquing and helping them to really be stealing their voices for his make believe, because they are make believe artists.
And
So,
this is crazy that music has come to a point where we're having to keep. You know how much of an insult that is to a genuine artist? We came up in the town where we had Marvin Gaye, Luther Vandross, Aaliyah, Janet,
hmm
In Vogue, people that can actually sing to be having to go up against, and not to mention, these people the AI is actually charting on the Billboard.
hmm
And I'm like, that's an insult to actual artists, to people that literally sing, that literally have honed their voices to actually sing and and be an artist and have
that's a
talent
disgrace.
that have to compete with a computer that has no emotion,
hmm
that has no emotion. And I was like, I got to compete with this. I'm a genuine person. I'm real. I literally can sing this. And for you to do that because it's comfortable and it's easy is an insult to real artists like Stokely, Mint Condition, and people like that that can genuinely sing,
Sing. hmm
that have the pipes, that have to compete with an AI that's not even real. That's an insult and it's disrespectful. And this is what we was talking to you about on our last episode with AI and the line. Where is the line? If y'all
hmm
saying that there is no line, y'all are asking for trouble, which
Yeah,
we'll
because
probably
there,
talk
there
about
need
this.
to be there needed to be a lot of things that needed to be regulated with it. I mean, I was just recently having a conversation um a couple days ago, and I was like, can you imagine how bad they have it that they could take a picture of me and a picture of you and make it seem like we are together, hugs up, just in love. And think about all of these celebrities whose faces are being put in these pictures, which is regular people or just regular people doing it. I mean,
I think there has to be
and then
contracts put in place.
yeah, like it's fun when you do it's all cute, do a little picture like, oh, I want to see how I look in a little Grinch costume. Okay. But it is getting out of control. And you have some people who are already just willing to accept it. Because I was on, I think, Facebook, and all these people were posting these AI images of them, like back to back to back to back. I was like, have you forgotten what you look like? And then they have the little AI thing that will change your voice to sing, to make your voice sound good to sing a song. And I'm just
Mhm.
like, this is getting out of control. Then I saw something that was, it was supposed to be like a AI image of Chandler from Friends hugging this girl. He had angel wings. Like, be able to spend time with your loved ones. It's like everybody is just comfortable living in the illusion right now. Like, it's not real. I mean, and I don't know how much we can scream it, but like it's getting dangerous. It's getting scary out here. It's been scary, but it's getting scary.
It gets spooky every day in October, like they said, man, because it's getting to a point where, and this is where we talked about in our last episode where we was talking about AI and the line. It's got to be a line,
Mm-hmm.
which I mean,
It's
which
getting
that goes
scary.
on us as individuals and people as artists to be like have contracts saying you cannot use my
Mm-hmm.
likeness or AI in any way, form, or fashion. You can't use my likeness, my voice, or anything in any way, form, or fashion. And if you do, I will sue you.
Mm-hmm. And it even affects like me, an artist, like actual painter, drawing, like where now you have people like, who do I need to come to an artist to draw a portrait of me when I can just go and say, hey, type some little prompt in the AI and it's going to give you holding 10 horses in a field.
I
You know what
was
I'm saying? So it just really is showing where it's taking out authentic, can you say my word? The authenticity of the authenticity. Listen to me.
authenticity.
Anywho, thank you. Woo! And I'm supposed to be a teacher. But now, it takes away that actual thing that makes us human, the ability to have a talent, and it's just stripping talents away and basically for faster, quicker response using AI. And I mean, of course, if you really dig deep into it, the only way it's able to do this is it has to have us. We have to fuel the machine. But just as much as we have to put the input in it, we have the power to say no. We have the power to not let these AI artists, so crazy, listen to this now, be able to chart. We had the ability to not buy into getting images of an AI image or something, or going to see movies that has a whole person who died several years ago using their likeness. We have the power, and we need to take a stand because if people don't take a stand, oh honey, it's going to be a maze, Poppy. You hear me? A maze.
Yeah. And it's getting out of hand with AI, but I know we kind of went off the rails a little bit, but
We
it's something
did.
that needed to be talked about because we didn't get to finish touching up on it on the last episode. We was always talking about,
Not off the
yo, there's
rail.
gotta be a line somewhere, especially with AI.
Hmm.
And this doesn't, and I hope artists listen to us as well, being like, look, man, take control of your likeliness. Start reading those
Hmm.
contracts and being like, yo, you can't use my likeness. Just because they present this contract to you does not mean you have to sign it. Be like, I will sign this after you fix this, and this in the contract.
Hmm.
Then
And
we can talk.
keyword, all money is not good money.
It
Quick
is
money
not.
ain't great money.
It is not. It is not.
And that's what they do. That's what they do. They put that money in your face. They put you in something where they go like, oh, here, take this, right? But it's like, is it worth it when you get what happens after? But to kind of bring it back full circle, when it comes to artists like Drake, these are the products of this as well. When
Right?
you have people who, I mean, let's not forget about narcissists, but you have someone who is histrionic, who narcissistic, whatever when you're going to say, who likes to be in the limelight, who wants to be irrelevant, say someone like Drake, and then your back is pushed against the wall because of what's going on with these record labels, how people are consuming music. He is a good example of the downside of it. Now,
Absolutely.
with this gambling and stuff, oh, sorry, with this gambling and everything, it might go south for him. And he's already
Uh-huh.
lost a good amount of his fan base. I mean, even though you got some hardcore ones now. I recently saw this guy say, Drake won that. Drake killed him, and he was going
Are you smoking a
on,
reefer, sir?
and I was just like, what? I was like, are we in the same timeline, same universe? What? And he was like, yeah. And Kendrick is blah 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 blah. And I was like, what? Say word? No way.
So
But
you genuinely choose to be.
he has yeah, anyways. So what I'm saying is he still has loyal fans. And I mean, if you are a fan of an artist, and you ride for 'em, you ride for them and they're wrong. And then you have some who have no problem being like, yeah, it wasn't looking so great for a little bit. Um, but I think what messes up some people when they don't take that L when it's been handed to them is they keep going, and sometimes that helps to dig up skeletons that don't need to be dug up. Because I think if
Right.
Drake would have kind of just fell back when it was already looking a little doom and gloom for him, it probably would have saved a lot of those accusations that came out after.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Big.
um, so like I said before, I'm gonna say it again. What Drake should have did. I mean, he did do the what's it called song because I liked it, but it was stolen though. Baby girl, it was stolen. So see what I mean?
Nokia.
Um, yeah, no kid. There you go. Because it really was stolen from the little African dude.
Yeah.
Because I remember I used to bump it. It was on TikTok. But anyway, proving my point. I said what Drake should have did was once that final one drops, and we know what song I'm talking about when it drops, he should have just kindly just backed out. Just boom,
Gracefully
boom,
bowed out.
boom, boom, boom. Walked out, went and chilled out for a little bit, got in the studio, put out some stuff, stole some music like he always do, put his own spin on it, and then came back out a year later and just omitted that it had happened and kept going, he would have did better. Because then you could have maybe made it look like Kendrick's just trolling you, and Kendrick's starting to look pressed if he's the only one doing it. But no, Drake couldn't do that. Drake had to keep going, and then Drake really got in his feelings and said, "I'm starting to sue everybody. You get a
That was the
lawsuit. You
last
get a
straw
lawsuit.
for him.
Everybody gets a lawsuit."
That was a straw that
Hmm?
broke the camel's back when you start
Yep.
suing. And I'm like, you
You
start
know.
you and this is a prime example of not knowing how to lose. You only know how to win,
Hmm.
but you never mastered defeat. And
And then
not
you
knowing
got the
how to
situation
lose.
with him and you remember the situation with him in the weekend? Cause they beefing. Canadians.
Yeah,
How
half
dare
of
they?
his album, Take
And
Care, was the
and then
weekend.
but then you remember the whole shoot that they shot up Drake's house and it was just so much. Oh, those were the times. It was so crazy. It feel like it just happened, but it was literally what 2, 3 years ago now.
Yeah.
Like it was a lot. So I mean, to make a long story short, I do think Drake done went a little too far, and he probably can't get out. Well, I ain't he's not getting out no Rico charge. I think the only person that I know recently that actually escaped a Rico charge was what's the little one that just he ain't little no more. Um, Young Thug, is that his name?
Yeah, Young Thug.
Young Thug, right? Who don't I sound like an old lady? What's his name, baby?
What's his name, baby?
um, what's that child's name? Yeah, anyway,
Young
Young Thug,
Bud.
he was able. It's Young Thug, right? Yeah, he was the one who was able to actually get out of it, but he had to spend several years in there. So depending on it's how I look at it sometimes when you're dealing with people in power, depending who you piss off and how much you got to kind of countersue it really determines a lot. So I don't know. Like I said, I haven't sat and listened to everything to the degree that you have, and I know you are, more knowledge about a lot of it. But just hearing just what was already said, it's like, you might want to say sorry to some folks.
Yeah, and feds. I was like, would I believe that Drake should have done strategically, but we know this is a dude that's
Mhm.
just feeling himself so bad that like he ego trips to a point where he don't feel he got to listen to nobody. But what I believe he should have done
Mhm.
was this: gracefully bowed out, take a year or two, get your mind right, and come back with a different perspective. Be more strategic. Apologize to some people. You know, genuinely make an effort to actually try to rebuild relationships and rebuild some bridges and try your hardest to understand that like, hey, I know I messed up and right now I'm on a hiatus, but I'm getting prepared. He couldn't do that because he knows that I can't stop. Cause FYI, you lost that case, but you still under contract with UMG. You still have to honor
Mhm.
that contract or else
Mhm.
lose your money. Because I was
You
like,
know, I
and
think.
this is
Sorry.
the example of going against a conglomerate and thinking that it's gonna be okay. But I was like, man, for you to sue, I was like, one, that's not hip hop. Two, you don't know how to take a loss. And three, you going against the conglomerate that put you in the position that you're in. You think that's gonna come out cool for you on the other end? No, because no matter what happens in this case, you still have a contract you have to honor with that group. A
Mhm.
$600 million contract that you still have to honor. And so you either gonna have to pay the money that you owe that they haven't recouped yet and retire, or B,
Mhm.
you gonna have to take some L's, some more L's. And
Mhm.
this Rico case that you're in currently could be the nail in the coffin. Because this is when the feds get involved. The feds have a 98 percentile killer's rate. And the
Mhm.
only person that's beat that is Michael Jackson. Because he was innocent to begin with. And so I was like, only one that beat the feds is Michael Jackson. So let's just be real about this. They have a 98 percentile. That means you got 2% to come out on the other end. The rest of that,
Mhm.
you're going down. They got you on something. That means they've been building this for years.
And they'll let you get away.
They'll
They'll
let
let
you
you get
get
away with
away.
some stuff. You
Yeah,
got to
no
get to
so.
enough. That's kind of like people who be stealing from grocery stores and like
Walmart
shopping retail places. They let you steal
up to
till
a
you hit
certain
a
point.
certain amount. I think they say Target. They say Target. I forgot the amount they let you get to,
10,000
because they let you get that amount, they can stick you real good.
with a felony.
So mhm, people sit here and think that you can get away with stuff, and that reaches from all different scales. Even up to the White House. I won't get on that tangent, but get your hands dirty enough that you can't get out of, and they have enough on you. And I feel like Drake has hit that mark. He's hit that mark, and it's gonna be interesting to see how he gets out of it. And DJ Academics, his butt licking behind. He stay in some mess, don't he?
Yep.
Don't he?
And I be saying this about Drake.
I mean,
I be like, oh yeah, Drake, you got away with it. You ain't get away with it. And this the you didn't get away with it part.
mm,
Like you got away with it, but you ain't get away with it.
did you get? That's right.
So and whackademics, I was like, dude, you should have just shut up
Just, I mean, but he
when
can't. He's such a fan, girl. He got to be. He a cheerlead, especially for Drake. Woo! That I mean, he got a love for Drake that goes deeper than a lot of bottom
Rory
bitches.
and Mal, they got a
I
they
mean,
guzzling ball. They are
I mean, like he just
I'm
go there,
like,
just open
it's
up,
kind of
take it.
disgusting. It's disgusting. I'm like,
I
y'all
mean,
grown
full
men.
on golden showers. Like, I mean,
I'm like, y'all grown men.
it,
Like,
y'all getting in trouble. Now y'all about to be in trouble with him.
now y'all
I
about to
hope
be
he
in
gave you
trouble with him.
some.
And I'm like,
I hope you got something from it. I remember when DJ Academic said he had never actually met Drake or something,
yeah,
and he
I'm
was
like,
like, "You
wait,
carry
wait.
on this hard for somebody you ain't even met. You serious? You serious? This
I'm
is
like,
what we're
y'all are
doing
grown
here.
ass men,
This is
ladies and
what we're
gentlemen.
doing." You know, so I mean, we could probably go on all day long about them and their foolishness. But yeah, I think with that being said, this is going to be an interesting case when it
Mhm.
actually goes to trial, or just seeing what the outcome is going to be in the next couple of weeks with it. Um, and I know definitely we will probably be having a couple updates.
Oh
So
yeah, oh yeah.
if you don't have anything else to say,
This is
um,
I just want to say thank you guys. Happy New Year's to everybody. And I was like, it's either gonna go left or we gonna get it right as the people.
mhm,
And I'm
yep,
always gonna that's just my quotation for whatever comes next. It's like it's either gonna go left or we gonna get it right. You know what I'm
mhm,
saying? And so like there's glimmers of light. We can't think that everything's dark and gloom. It's just gonna get to a point where people gonna be like, F it. Oh yeah. And I just had to do a quick
enough
shout
is
out.
enough.
Shout out to my homeboy Luigi that might be coming on. Shout out to Luigi, boy. Shout out to
See,
you,
when you
boy.
take a stand,
Shout out
when
to
you
the boy.
take a stand,
I ain't seen Miranda's nowhere. I ain't see her either. I ain't see. And this what you get when you
that's
have cops that don't do the job properly. So, but
that is crazy.
I just want to say to everybody, don't dig too deep into this darkness
Mhm.
because there are glimmers of light even in the darkest of time. And we are here to do it, and we are here, and we're gonna keep speaking positivity. And also, for those that follow us on
Mhm.
TikTok and social media, like, share, comment, repost because they are messing with the algorithm. I saw a video we posted what September come up on the FYP, and so just please like,
Oh yeah.
comment, subscribe, repost, share it, all of that, and we'll do the same for you because we have to in order to fight against what they're trying to do to this algorithm because they don't want us to know what's going on in the world right now.
Mm-mm. All
So
right, but with that is its own topic.
yep.
We could go on and on about. So with that said, this has been the Artist and Thinkers podcast.
Peace.